Welcome everybody to Hammertown. Speed Sport is live here at the King of the Hammers 2022. And as you can see, sunrise here is magical. It's beautiful here in the Mojave Desert, and it is something you just have to experience. It's all part of what you see when you come here to King of the Hammers. It's unlike any other major motorsports event I've ever been to. And behind us now, the fans are having a good time behind the fire. But still, there's a cloud of dust, Pam Hall, hanging over. That's just all part of it, isn't it?
It is, and the desert is absolutely beautiful. So let's see a little video again of the sunrise.
The party never really stops here in Hammertown, does it? It just goes all night long.
Definitely fireworks all night long.
And into the next race day, and we do it all over again.
Exactly.
And that's finally about there where it starts to get a little bit warm here, right?
Yes.
Hi everybody, Ralph Shaheen with you. You already met Pam Hall. We are here at King of the Hammers Speed Sport Live, brought to you by Cometic, as we've been bringing you coverage of this amazing event all week long here. Hope you're following along with us on all of our social media pages as we cover the events all around here. This course, some 80 plus miles out through the Mojave Desert. Part of what you do if you're racing here at King of the Hammers is trying to navigate through these boulders, and Pam, they're as big as houses in some areas. So our Dave Arnold went out to find out how do you navigate the rocks at Hammers. A little bit of a behind the scenes there. Unfortunately, we didn't get the audio there with that piece. But Pam, there's an art to getting through these boulders here.
There definitely is, and that's when people that come out here to race King of the Hammers, they will get out there in the rocks, and what they'll do is they will actually walk the course because they want to see where is the best spot for them to actually go through. And that's what the majority of them do. Some of them drive it, but a lot of them actually get out and walk it. Like we were speaking with Cameron Steele last night, and he said that that's one of his ways of actually exercising as well.
Yeah, you got to get a visual idea of what's the right way to go through a given section. And it might be winching your way through.
Exactly. Sometimes they do have to winch completely through it. And here we have a little time lapse going through. You can see that is Von Gittin right there. It's pretty amazing. And Dave Arnold right now is navigating.
Well, joining us now on the set is a man who has found his way to the top step of the podium here today. Welcome to our show, Brian Deegan. Yeah. Congratulations, Brian.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's been a great experience for sure.
So that was winning the UTV Challenge race today, correct?
Yeah, I think it was the last kind of short course battle for 10 grand. And I came in, finished the race, the King of the Hammers, like UTV race. And it was very brutal, very challenging. And I just pulled in. They're like, okay, do you want to do the, it was like, I forget what they call it, but it was
the Grudge Match.
What was it?
Grudge Match.
Yeah, okay, the Grudge Match. I'm like, well, how long do I got? They said like 5 minutes. And I was like, okay, let's do it. I said, well, where am I starting? They said up front. And then I was like, all right, I'll do it. I was like, all right, I'll do it if I'm starting up front. And then, it was a fun little event at the end of the day. And it's cool to mix short course in and like get it right in front of the fans and everything. And man, it was a cool race.
So I went out earlier today to an area called Chocolate Thunder, which is about 3 miles that way up a hill, or a mountain, I should say, watching the UTVs crawl up through there. And it's amazing to see the trucks come through, but it's incredible that the UTVs can basically accomplish the same thing.
Yeah, the UTVs, for me, it started off when I raced off-road with Pro 2 and Pro 4. It's kind of the premier class, the big trucks, big horsepower. And UTVs came in, and I felt like when it first started, I'm like, okay, where are these going to go? And this is years ago. And they've developed so quick that it's an OEM. When OEMs go against each other, the level goes high. So they all want to win. It's So, and I ended up signing with Can-Am with a factory deal. So now it's kind of like motocross. There's like factory rides available, and you come in and you have the best equipment and the best resources. And the level's gone so high now, you can't really tell the difference between the UTVs and the actual like 4400s and
Yeah.
the line, the lines they run, they're almost identical.
Yeah.
I cannot believe what the side-by-sides can do as far as what they'll go up. There's a massive learning experience for me this week. And there's a lot of times, Terry Madden was my spotter. He actually lives here. And he was like, okay, go up that, go, and like Sledge and Jack and all these gnarly trails. I'm like, are we really going up? And we ran out of gas, and I knew it right when we went up the hill. It was like, and it just shut off. I'm like, no way. and we rolled back down. A lot of preparation went into this for us. Like, I've been out here for days and days and days practicing because I want to respect the race and take it serious. And so we, anyway, he gets out of the car and just starts running, and he's like, runs like miles to the pit. And the team gives him like, not just here's a jug of gas, right? Here's like a Gatorade bottle or something. They give him the 10-gallon quick fill can. He just starts running with it through the desert. I'm like, what is this guy's gnarly? Like, it was good.
Well, you haven't seen this side of it, but when he came running into the pit, we actually have a video
Really?
to show you, Mr. Brian Deegan.
We got your gas, man.
I ain't carrying that big one. You got a ratchet strap I can put on my back?
Yeah, that's not the only one. How'd you guys do
I'd
over
go
there?
around here, go around his waist, and then come around to his shoulder. Does that make sense? Go around his waist.
We don't have front brakes either when we get in here, guys.
Go all around his waist.
I couldn't see any leaks anywhere.
Okay.
But the reservoir is empty.
Okay.
You gotta go over my shoulders. Or it's
Yeah,
not
we're
gonna-
going to.
You're about to push me over on my face.
You happen to see another guy running behind you?
No. Taking it easy because we didn't have brakes even.
Oh shit.
So we weren't using fuel.
How long did you sit idling at the start?
Not. We don't. I paid attention
Did
to that.
any tire look like it's leaning out?
No, we're good.
Terry, how's that feel, bro?
That's fine.
Is that gonna kill you?
It's not gonna be fun. See you guys.
Hi,
man. See you in a
Hey,
little
we're
bit.
like 50 yards on the left. How far back is he?
I'm like 3 miles that way.
Okay, well wait.
Hey guys, that's
Not gonna work.
Let him fucking work. If he's 3 miles, that means. Yeah, Terry. Let's go, buddy. How does that always fucking happen to him? It's always something. You got like 15 in front.
Brian, one of the things we've enjoyed talking with a lot of people about here is you yourself have had so much experience in such a wide variety of motorsports, 2 wheels and 4. Yet here you are as one of the guys who really set the bar for action sports. Here's something that is really gnarly. On the gnarly scale, if you will, where do you put King of the Hammers?
To be honest, I'd come out here as a fan to watch like the last few years, and I just knew it was a huge commitment to do this race. So I've been so busy with the kids, racing and everything. I was like, I don't know if I want to have the time. But then I was like, you know what, Can-Am, it's been a great relationship with them. They said, come out and be a part of it. And I went out and jumped into it. I'm like, dude, this is really gnarly. Like, it's just not gnarly like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna go for a drive. It's like a 4-hour race through terrain that I can't even believe you can go through.
Yeah.
And stuff goes wrong. Like when you're beating on cars that bad for that amount of time, stuff's gonna go wrong. And it's like, how do you handle that? Most racing I do is like 20, 30 minutes long, main event.
Yeah, right.
You know, moto or a short course. And if something breaks, you're done. Your race is over, right? This is, you break, it's not over. Like, we ran out of gas and we got the car going. We're 30 minutes down, and then we got back in the race eventually. And it was like, okay, there's just a lot of emotion, a lot of highs and lows. And overall, as far as like being a gnarly event, it's ranked way up there for me. You know, freestyle motocross, okay, that's always been super gnarly, right? Because of the risk of injury. But this is more of a long race of attrition. You know, and you have to think. There's a lot of thought process that goes into it. So, like, I'm super wore out after the race, and I'm just, like, stoked I finished. That was, like, my goal. And I did. A lot of people were like, you're not going to finish the race. Like a lot of people said that, like, on the internet, there was, like, everyone's like, you're not. I'm like, no, I'm going to finish the race, dude. And it became this big battle, and I'm like, that's all I could think of. Like, when we were broke, I'm like, I'm not finishing the race. And I was so bummed. Anyway, it was a cool experience, and I'll be back. But now I know a little more about it, and I know how to prepare a little better. So, but yeah, I was on an awesome car, and it was fun.
Well, congratulations on the win today.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
We are going to come right back here to Hammertown. We've got a lot more guests to join us. So stay with us right here on Speed Sport Live from Hammertown. So do you love the band Sublime? Well, they played here last night in the middle of Hammertown. It's incredible, Pam, when you think about everything that goes on here. It's $50 a ticket to get into the event here at King of the Hammers. And it's basically $5 a day because that $50 is spread out over 10 days. And you get to see Sublime, and you get to see Pennywise coming up on Saturday. Can't wait for that. Love those guys. And you get to see everything that's to do here in Hammertown. It's one of, if not, the best deals I've seen in motorsports these days for a fan.
What amazes me is nobody hardly has cell phone service out here, but yet we can get Sublime and Pennywise out here to play for us.
Right. Yeah, it's hard to get a signal out of the middle of the Mojave Desert. Trust me, we've been all of us have been trying.
Yes.
So we talk about Hammertown. Well, like any town, there are different suburbs, right? Well, here, of course, it's called Hammerburbs. And Dave Arnold went to find out what's it like living in the burbs around Hammertown.
Welcome to Hammertown, USA, right here at King of the Hammers, guys. Well, the lines are stacking up. They're getting ready for the big races, the Everyman Challenge race tomorrow. The Hammer trucks, the 4400s, will be racing on Saturday. The line is crazy. Now it's all about finding your community out there. Are you in the Hammerburbs? Are you going to be in Hammertown? Well, I don't know. It's pretty filled up. You got Hammertown Heights. Where are you going to pick? Are you just going to be somewhere out there starting your own subdevelopment? So check it out as this place fills up. Well, now we're up on the hill overlooking Hammertown. You can see all the communities that have popped up. We like to call them the Hammerburbs. Hammertown Heights. We've got Golden Acres. We got Fun City. We even got the volunteers got their own little town called Volville, all making up this great community here at King of the Hammers. Well, we've moved to the other side of Stonehenge here in the fire pit and hooked up over with Amber Hannah Turner. How you doing, Amber? You're hanging out here in Hammertown Heights. What's going on?
This is our usual campsite every year. We're right above Hammertown Heights and outside of the gated community. So we're not really that bougie of a neighborhood, but we're not quite the ghetto. But it's great up here. We've got great weather. The wind blows that direction, so all the dust stays off of us, and it's just a beautiful day in the desert.
Well, I know I can see this little machine behind us right here, and I guess you're going to be competing in the EMC, the Everyman Challenge, tomorrow.
Yes, so today I've got Tech and Contingency. This is my 1988 Suzuki Samurai. I've had this thing since I graduated high school. And we're taking on the Everyman Challenge tomorrow.
You ever done it before?
Yep, this will be my third year competing.
Class A, or you have an overlanding rig with a pop-up tent and a big old solar panel. Here in the center of Hammertown Heights, it's really nice to come together at nighttime with a big bonfire and the smudge pots and just talk about the stories of the day and the wheeling stories. It's been really, really cool and fun, and I look forward to coming back for years afterwards.
Well, just a little bit of insight what goes on here at Hammertown Heights. It's a little bit about the lifestyle here, and it's always fun hanging out with your friends, making new friends, and your family. Back to you, Ralph and Pam.
Let a look at all the different communities around here at Hammertown as the party is underway here in the middle around the campfire tonight. Hope folks at home are nice and warm because we're not here. Bob Bauer, Hall of Famer here in the off-road world, joins us along with his signature gnome. That goes everywhere with you, doesn't it?
It does indeed.
Yeah. This is your first time, as hard as it is to believe, here at King of the Hammers.
And yours too.
Mine too, but you're the off-road legend.
Yeah, so it's okay if you're confused.
Right.
But I tell you, I'm as lost as last year's Easter egg when I try and figure out this number system. I just don't know how it works.
What did you think when you got, because like me, I'm sure you've seen lots of pictures and read stories and seen video and all that, but here you are. What's your take?
My take is that, first, this is not an off-road racing crowd. These are four-wheelers, legitimate recreational four-wheelers.
As far as the fan base.
Yes, exactly. You see dogs. You see wagons with kids. You see folding chairs. You know what you don't see? Trash.
Yeah.
These people are taking such good care of the 96,000 acres that we're in on this BLM land, and it makes me proud.
Yeah, that's very true, because people are taking lots of stuff with them all around to the different locations to watch from.
Yeah.
But when they leave, it's the way it was when they got there.
Yeah. The other part of it, I think, is just like, they call it a race. I'm not sure. I'm ready to call it a festival. I mean, it truly is. So many disciplines all coming in at one time over a week. Not only do they get to do it between the green and checkered, but when that's all done, they go back out and do it for fun.
Yeah, for me, when I think about it, from what I've seen going around and everything, it's kind of like the off-road version of Bike Week in Daytona.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of everything going on, from all the
Yeah.
manufacturers here and around Hammertown, all the things to see here, all the little parties going on everywhere, people just out exploring, and there's a race going on at the same time.
You know, they say racing is racing. That's an easy cliche to throw on out there. And because most of the audience for speed sport is, compared to the desert, is NASCAR oriented. Good luck is, so am I. And, you know, when I say racing is racing, there's a difference between what we're doing here and what they're going to do in the Coliseum this weekend. Here, we have takeoffs and landings, Ralph.
That you do. And hopefully safe landings, right?
You would hope so. But
As
some
Evel Knievel would say, happy landings, right?
Yeah, happy landings, exactly right. And some of the film and the footage we've seen is like, man, oh man, that was like the best save ever.
There's a video clip floating around on the internet from earlier today of Lauren Healy on his qualifying lap.
Oh.
Maybe it was from yesterday.
Yeah, it was.
Launching his Bronco off of a ledge.
Yes.
And I bet you he dropped easily 25 to 30 feet.
You're not exaggerating.
With the gas
people
on.
People should know that.
With
He's
the
not
gas on.
exaggerating.
He was, I mean, he's on it. He just sent it.
Yeah.
And what that truck did, landed, settled, and took off, it's just mind-boggling.
Well, I think the truck is still probably very surprised.
But it's incredible they can build a vehicle to do that, take that kind of pounding, and perform like that.
Yes.
And he was only fourth quick, right? That wasn't
Yes.
even the quickest time.
No. And that's a relatively stock Bronco, of the new Bronco.
Yeah.
This is like amazing.
Yeah, it's incredible what that truck did. It really is. So,
Yeah.
you supposedly retired from racing,
Well, yes.
but here you are, and you've seen it. Would you come run King of the Hammers now? Come out of retirement for that?
No. but it's not because of the hammers or because of the stuff. It's because I got out after 29 years in the cockpit without I didn't lose a drop of blood.
Right.
I never broke a bone. I got
Yeah.
one orthopedic massage after a Mint 400. Kind of had to.
Yeah.
But I just don't want to get back in the car because I got to take myself out of a race. And I quit on the right time. It was like I said, if it was the 2017 50th Baja 1000. And I said, Bauer, if you could cross the finish line in La Paz driving first place at the 50th annual when you're 72 years old, that's badass enough. Step away from the race car.
Yeah.
And I got to call my own shot because otherwise you just don't get the memo.
Right.
And so
You
I'm a
did it
happy
even
guy.
better than Tom Brady.
Well, I
Right?
did. Yeah, but no one cared.
Well, he is a Hall of Fame off-road legend. Thanks for coming by, Bob.
It's certainly a pleasure to see
Appreciate
you,
it.
Ralph, after 26 years since we've been working together.
That's
My
right.
gosh!
That's great. It's great to have the legend here at Hammertown, taking everything in here at the King of the Hammers. We're coming right back. We got a lot more for you. Stay with us here with Speed Sport, live from. Fans having a great time around the campfire. That's right behind our set. You guys having a good time over there?
Yeah, we just crossed the finish line.
All right.
That's Veronica Weitzel right there.
Finishers
Just
right
came
behind
through.
us too, just coming through. They're still racing out in the middle of the desert here. Well, a lot of these fans might be thinking, you know, I might want to go out there and try this someday. And you know what? You can. It's called the Everyman Challenge. To show you a little bit of what it's all about. And you can pretty much build whatever you want, right, Pam?
Exactly. Well, the McNamara brothers, who are right here with us, they'll be able to tell us all about it. They race in their Jeep Cherokee, correct, with the 4-wheel parts on it.
It's a good look at some of the vehicles that'll be running in the Everyman Challenge tomorrow here just outside of Hammertown at the King of the Hammers. And as Pam said, the McNamara brothers, Brian and Sean, joining us. Thanks for coming by, guys.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Tell us a little bit about the Everyman Challenge and what the vehicle is like.
So we race in the 4600 class, which would be the stock class, and we're limited on motor. It has to be a production motor. We're allowed to build if we want, but 35-inch DOT tires, 12-inch travel max, and it's got to be a stock body, no modifications to the body other than safety requirements. And we come out and put our hearts in it and try and race the same course that all these unlimited and big guys are racing on.
And that's unlimited means not only unlimited vehicle, but unlimited budget is usually how that goes with racers, right?
Oh yeah, so we actually, our first year, we came out here with a $10,000 car.
That's what I wanted to get at. So some of the vehicles that'll be running this Everyman Challenge are, what's the baseline price?
For the Everyman Challenge, it's all over the board. There are people out here with cars they built in their garage like we did in spare parts. And
so you said 10 grand maybe?
10 grand was our entry our first year. That was entry, fire suits, building the car,
the whole thing,
campers, food. To get on the lake bed and race for a week with the car was $10,000.
That's 10 grand you ever spent, right?
Absolutely.
Here you are doing it again.
Next year will be year 10 for us. So we're at 9 years this year, and we're out here every year, and our program is substantially bigger than 10 grand now. I think it was 10 grand before we hit the lake bed this year with an already built car. So,
but there's a limit to where you can go with that, I would assume, in that category.
So 4600, not really. 4600, while it is the Everyman class and the most limited class out here, and you can be out here and you can be competitive with a $10,000 car, you can spend as much as on a 4600 production car as a 4400 car if you wanted. It's actually truly amazing the spread of what you can get into in EMC between the bottom of the class and still competitive at 10,000 and the top of the class and just as competitive with hundreds of thousands.
So what makes the difference then? Is it your navigation around the course as opposed to the...
I think the biggest difference is experience, the willpower, and then the co-driver and driver dynamic. There's a huge dynamic that has to happen to make it a successful day in any class. And I think even more so in the stock class, we're almost the smallest tires out here. UTVs are running bigger tires than we are. Wow. So it makes a deal, to have this relationship and get it through the course.
Horsepower comes to play a lot too. You can spend a lot of money on your motor, and obviously anything with a Chevy platform is going to have an LS, and that they're going to spend $5,000 on a motor and have 300-400 horsepower, whereas the Jeep Inline 6 we can spend $5,000 and have 350 horsepower. So there's a big difference in the horsepower there. But like Sean was saying, there's a big thing that comes out to be with the teamwork and everything that comes with the EMC as well. It's all about how well your team works together in and out of the garage. We're twin brothers. We've been together, working together for 30 years now, and 32 actually, and it's just phenomenal because I can just anticipate anything he's got going on. He can anticipate anything I've got going on, which makes it really fun for the EMC. It's just a great teamwork for everything we do.
So teamwork makes the dream work. Do you guys switch off driving and co-driving, or is there one particular driver for
we
you
have
guys?
Found out that Brian cannot spot me in the rocks. Or I can't drive the rocks, but I think he just can't spot. So I take care of the desert, and we blast through the desert section with me in the driver's seat, and then we switch as soon as you get back to Maine, and he takes over for the rock section.
I do have to hit on teamwork makes the dream work, because it's not just in-car teamwork makes the dream work. EMC is all about the teammates you have on course. And it's not, for us, we have some other Falcon and 4-wheel part teammates we work really closely with. But in 4600, you won't finish the race if you're not working with any other 4600 car on course. It is teamwork all the way through for the class. And that's what makes EMC so awesome. 4600, you talk to anybody, it's the closest tight-knit group of guys you'll find on course, because we know if we don't work together, nobody is going to finish on time.
Explain that a little bit, because we hear about teams working, because say, for example, in NASCAR, teammates might hook up and draft together. What do you guys do here teammate-wise with other competitors?
We stack rocks together. We're in a traffic jam and 3 or 4 co-drivers will get out and they're all together stacking the rocks. We're pulling parts from pits to pits with each other. When Josh Atterbury finished second 3 years ago, we finished just behind him, just out of time in fourth, or just out of the podium in fourth. And we worked through aftershock, and Josh didn't have rear wheel drive and we didn't have front wheel drive. So we hooked our winches together and we pulled and pushed each other all the way through that trail, and Josh hit the podium in a 2-wheel drive vehicle.
Our first working together with another team is we were going through Jack North, and there were 5 or 6 Legends and mod cars all bound up in the easy line, and we got 2 or 3 stock car drivers, and we stacked rocks in the hard Ultra 4 line, and we drove past 7 or 8 cars and passed all these, and they're like, how'd you guys do that? I'm like, you guys are fighting of who gets the line.
They're fighting who gets to go first and honking their horns and wanting to get out of the way, whereas we get all of our co-drivers together and like, let's go stack rocks. Like, there's been numerous years when backdoor's been a situation or a race that we had to race, and we've never actually done it, but the group always gets together and it's like, all right, who wants to go stack rocks at the bottom of backdoor so that the 4600 cars aren't going to land on their lids on the bottom of it.
So if I recall, you guys are from Ridgecrest, California.
Very local to here.
I know that area very well, the wagon wheel area.
Yes.
I know there's lots of rocks there. Have you guys gone out there and practiced rocks instead of coming all the way down here to Hammertown?
When we were young, we did. Before we ever got into racing, that's where we got all of our rock experience was around there. But there's a lot of buggy lines out there, and we like to keep the bodies on the race car and our personal rig straight. And so we actually don't spend a lot of time in the Ridgecrest rocks. We actually do travel down here and run the trails down here. It's so local, it's so easy. And then when it's as big as KOH, it's nice to be able to know we ran those trails and we've seen them before we come out and race.
Right.
So.
If somebody at home is watching this and is thinking, Everyman Challenge, well, I'd like to try that, how would you suggest they get started?
Come help a team, come volunteer, get out here first and see. There's a lot of people want to come race and they don't know how to get into it, or you don't even know if you're going to like it. You could build a car, show up to race, and you hate it. So I suggest you come out here, volunteer, see the race, see what it's about, see that you like the weather.
And where Sean's hitting is I would volunteer with Ultra 4 first, so you see everything and then know that you're hooked with it, and then come ask a team, especially the 4600. Nobody's going to turn you away.
Yeah, we don't have enough help as it is.
You can always find help in the pits, or running a remote pit or running tires. And then from there you're just going to get the hands-on help with the course and the car, but as far as actually getting into it, if you already know you love it, buy a car, run with it.
Buy a stock car.
A Jeep Cherokee will run you $5,000 in really good shape right now. Our first year we had 300,000 miles on that motor, and that's actually the same motor in his wife's car. And you know what? That car finished every mile of that race, and it's out here again. So, you don't have to, like we touched, you don't have to have $1 million to come out and do this.
Yeah, there's
have a blast.
Toyotas with 22 RE 4-cylinders, and it won last year, right?
I think a Leaf Spring's won the last 3 years in a row, a full Leaf Spring vehicle. You don't have to
almost a run what you brung class, and as long as you meet your safety requirements, get out here and run it.
Have a great time.
Have a great time.
Well, best of luck to you, fellas. Good luck tomorrow in the Everyman Challenge.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
The McNamara brothers, they're going to be out racing here, King of the Hammers, tomorrow in the Everyman Challenge. We're coming right back with more Speed Sport live from Hammertown. Hi everybody, welcome back to Hammertown. And yes, I have my hands in my pockets because I'm doing everything I can to stay a little bit warm out here, Pam.
It's a little freezing cold out here. At least you're keeping your hands warm. I have one here.
Man, it is something else. So, every racetrack has a safety crew, right? You have an accident on the course, you got to go out, pick it up with a flatbed and get it off the track, right? Well, here they have a recovery crew, as Dave Arnold found out, up in the hills here around the King of the Hammers.
Hey guys, I'm over at Backdoor right now, and this is one of the hairy places that they all do a lot of rock crawling up there. It's like a little fall system here. Well, these drivers sometimes run into a little bit of problems out here when they can't get themselves up, they can't winch themselves, they go on their lid, and that's when they bring in the recovery guys. I know it's kind of new for you folks there, watch a lot of the NASCAR stuff. Recovery, definitely needed in rock crawling and desert racing out here. And we're going to talk to this gentleman here about that. Why don't you introduce yourself real quick?
My name's Lee Lim. I'm just out here volunteering, helping out.
Well, Lee, talk about what you guys do. I know you want to let them try and get themselves out of trouble, but when they can't, you guys step in.
Yeah, we step in. We get the rig set up, winch lines and everything ready. We want to keep the race moving, so whatever we need to do to get them back on their wheels, you know, of course, make sure they're safe beforehand and ready to go. Get them back on their wheels and keep rolling.
Not much action today for you. The UTVs are out there running, but tomorrow and Saturday, you're going to be busy. The EMCs, the Everyman Challenge is going to be running out here, as well as the big class, the 4400s. We're going to see them, the King of the Hammers, themselves, the Hammer Trucks.
That's right. Yeah, it's going to be crazy in here. Rocks being flung out of everywhere, flipped on their lids, cars on top of cars, everything. It's whatever to get through the race. You know, keep rolling.
On an average, how many vehicles do you see that get into trouble where they actually need you guys? A lot, small amount?
Oh, it's a lot.
Well, just an example, how deep the hole is and how big this wall is. They got to climb up this wall. Yes, climb up this wall. Whether it's they just go for it, pin it to win it, or they're going to have to winch their way up. And hopefully, they won't have to use the recovery guys.
The rescue crew, just one more thing that is very unique to here at King of the Hammers. Well, this guy's not unique to King of the Hammers, Pam.
Definitely not.
Kyle Chaney, another big winner here today. Congratulations on taking the UTV category.
Yeah, thank you. You know, this is our 4th year racing this, and this is our 2nd win. A couple years ago, I ran over myself and broke my foot, and we ended up 2nd. The first year, we had some radiator fan issues, so we didn't even get a finish. But, you know, this race, just finishing is an accomplishment.
I think we actually have video of Kyle running over himself here. But was this 2 years ago this happened?
Yeah, 2 years ago.
And what happened to you at this moment?
I was actually leading, and then I got caught back in the dust behind Hunter, and I just went off a little ledge, and oh yeah, right there, that broke my foot right there, knocked both my shoes off, and we worked so hard to get the car uprighted. Like, I was just watching the car at this moment, hoping it wouldn't flip back over. And then once it stopped, I was so happy. I crawled back to the car because I couldn't walk, and ended up getting back in and working our way to the finish line. And we lost about 30 minutes there, and we ended up working our way back within 2 minutes of winning.
Wow, that's just incredible.
That was crazy. I actually worked in the media tent. You came in there, and I'm like, oh my gosh, how did you do that? But up on stage, I mean, your adrenaline kind of takes over as well. And for you to finish 2nd place after doing what happened, as we just saw, it was amazing.
Yeah, but I wasn't happy. Like I said, from that day on, for 365 days, I thought about winning King of Hammers, and and we won last year. So definitely paid off. And this year, after winning last year, I definitely didn't push that hard. But you know, we didn't like stop either. You know, we kept progressing our cars. You know, we just did better builds. You know, everything we learned from previous years, you know, we just put into the new car, and
this is you winning here today. It is remarkable to me, Kyle, how fast through these massive rock areas these UTVs can go and what they can get over.
Yeah, it's crazy. You know, I'm still amazed of what these things can do. Like, when we pull up to some of these rocks, I'm like, well, here it goes. We're going to try to make it, and they crawl right up it.
You came through remote pit 1, I believe, in 5th place going through, and then you came back. I can't remember where I saw you come back, but you were definitely on a mission today.
Yeah, we started 7th, and I knew I wanted to get to the rocks first because, like I said, whoever gets to the rocks first controls the race. So, you know, if you get stuck in the rocks, a lot of times there's only one line, so they either have to help you out or, you know, wait for you to get out. So I got to the rocks first. I ended up passing everybody in the desert. I passed Phil right here in the pits, and I took the chance to not fuel. I did all the calculations. I'm like, I think I can make it on fuel. So I didn't fuel, and by not fueling, I was able to pass Phil, which was the last person I needed to pass to get to the rocks first. And it worked. I actually pulled into the pits on fumes. Like when I was going around the short course, my car was dying.
Wow. So you come back from that crazy injury a couple years ago. You've won it now, twice, 2 years in a row. So what next?
We have a lot more racing to do this year, but no, we're gonna. Well, actually, Saturday we got 4,400. We're gonna race the UTVs in 4,400. Me, the Millers, and Paul Wolf are all gonna go to battle with the 4,400s.
That's crazy. So you're gonna take a UTV and race against the unlimited trucks?
Yeah, it sounds kind of crazy.
Yeah. What kind of odds do you have on that? Do you have any advantage over them?
The only advantage we do have is in like the tighter rock areas. I feel like we can get through the tight rocks a little better than them, but they have 40 mile an hour on us into the desert. So if we can get through the desert clean and get to the rocks clean with our cars still in 100% top shape, I think we might have a shot at it.
Well, best of luck to you, Kyle. Thanks for coming by.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Appreciate it.
We'll see how we can do on Saturday in the big event here at Hammertown, King of the Hammers. Let's go ahead and show you the schedule for what's coming up tomorrow here at the 2022 King of the Hammers. The Everyman Challenge, Pam, that we were talking about, that starts at 8 a.m.
Yes, and then tomorrow night again at 7 o'clock roughly, we'll be right back here getting to interview whoever our guests are tomorrow.
Yeah, and hopefully a little bit warmer.
Yes, hopefully it'll be warmer for sure.
Just a little bit warmer, that would be great. We sure hope you've enjoyed our coverage here, brought to you by Cometic, as Speed Sport is live here at Hammertown at King of the Hammers 2022. It has been an amazing adventure so far. Pam, what are you looking forward to the most tomorrow?
Tomorrow, I'm looking forward to the sunshine, hopefully a little bit warmer.
Yeah, should be a great day of racing. Make sure you stay tuned to speedsport.com, speedsport.tv, and ultra4racing.com to watch all the racing action from here at King of the Hammers 2022. For Pam Hall, I'm Ralph Shaheen. So long, everybody, and have a great night.